Welcome back, people. It is episode 12 of season 5 of the Taxi Squad podcast. Vince and I are no longer sitting next to each other, but we are still on the same time zone, so no big deal. We got a fair amount to talk about today. Before we do any of that, don't forget to follow and subscribe no matter where you get your podcast. If you want to see these beautiful fotches every week, please follow the YouTube. Now, before we do that, we got some bracketology for you. So if you need help filling out your bracket, we're going to do our best. It might just be the blind leading the blind, but that's what we do. Now, we got a fair amount to get into with baseball talk, considering the season started, but it really didn't start, and it's in Japan, and I don't understand how any of this works. And then we're going to have a little chat about the NFL. It's the Taxi Squad podcast.
Come on, everybody, celebrate. The Taxi Squad is here today. So lose the blues, kick back and relax for now. We talk about sports and stupid stuff. We're probably wrong and it might get rough. So welcome back. It's the Taxi Squad. Yeah.
And we're ready.
Fucking Richard's hysterical. I was like, sweet apron. He's like, thanks, man. It says Mr. because I'm husband. Because I'm a husband over here doing husband things, and that's pretty neat. And then he put the emoji that breathes out.
That sounds about right.
I love that for you, Richard. I love that for you, Richard. Real chef shit. Real chef shit.
Real chef shit.
Real chef shit. All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
Vince, how you doing?
Good, man. Song of the day, Penny Arcade, Roy Orbison. We just listened to that beforehand. Got it stuck in Mike's head real nice. But I'm good, man. You were here.
I was there.
You were here for St. Patrick's Day. You were at my house.
Oh, yeah.
We partook in adult beverages and breakfast foods aplenty.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
We were having this talk on my other pod, too. St. Patrick's Day is the best. There's two. There's always been two.
This is the first one.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. That's very true. St. Patrick's Day in Chicago, it's the best singular holiday in Chicago.
It is the best drinking holiday in the city of Chicago.
In my opinion.
There's T-Box, which is like right around Thanksgiving, which is just if you want to be around a bunch of like drunk graduated college kids screaming at their girlfriends at Old Crow, we need to leave.
In lines. Go there. You just wait in lines.
In lines. Just wait in lines, and girls are crying and they're drunk, and usually there's a fist fight at some point. St. Patrick's Day is wonderful. No matter what pocket of the city you're going to go to, you're going to have a great time. Vinny had a little house party. It's always the best way to start at a little house party. Then you go out, the wheel is greased, you're feeling nicey, and then you go to sleep you go to sleep at a nice time. And you still wake up hungover, but you pass out for longer and you have more of a buffer in the morning as opposed to staying out till like 3 a.m.
Well, speak for yourself, because I got home at 1:30. So yeah, I went from 9 to 1:30, and I feel my age. And it took me a long time on Sunday to recalibrate. Went to the parents' house. My mom made an absolute corned beef and cabbage feast. We figured it out. But yeah, that was this weekend. I'm still kind of feeling the repercussions from this weekend right now. But that's what it's here for. Yeah. It's the unofficial start of better weather in Chicago, and I'm happy about it. You're in /Slashville right now, aren't you?
I'm in Nashville. I'm in downtown Nashville on a work trip. And,
how's the Bridgestone looking?
The Bridgestone is bridgy. There's a little race car in there. Last night, the Preds played. You'd think it would be busier. It really wasn't. Had dinner at a spot that I really enjoyed by the name of Etch.
A sketch.
And Etch was pretty interesting and some good food there. So if you're ever in downtown Nashville, check out Etch. You have to say it exactly like that. And then Broadway is a couple blocks away, but I really have no want or need to go there.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're with a group, it'd be fun.
Exactly.
You can go experience it together, but it's just me. So what the fuck am I going to do? Walk down there and just be like, hello, fellow youths.
I'm at Jason Aldean's Country Bar.
Jason Aldean's Country Bar. Yeah, I am not a country guy either.
Yeah.
But you know what is here? There is a Instagram chef / Food Network star, Iron Chef winner, Christian Pedroni. You don't follow this man on IG, criminal. Yeah. This man is truly a wizard of Italian cooking.
One of Mike's a million videos that he sends me on Instagram, I'd say he's probably like 20% of them.
I would lean on the 50% side.
Yeah,
and
close to it.
And with that, this man has a restaurant in downtown Nashville. Of all places, he's from Brooklyn. He has a restaurant in downtown Nashville. There's not a restaurant of his in New York, just downtown Nashville. It's called Ella. And I went there and I had the meatballs and focaccia. And then I had the linguine and clams. And boy, oh boy, it was rockstar.
Oh,
rockstar. Italian. But it was outstanding. Like just every detail was paid attention to. The hunks of garlic in this thing were like this. It was gorgeous. So I've eaten well. I always eat well when I travel. There's no doubt about it. There's one thing Uncle Mike knows how to do. It's eat.
Is Nashville a buzz for the first pick in the draft?
No. I haven't talked to one person about football here. Not one. Like you see the Titans signs and shit, but nobody cares. People are like, oh, the Preds are on. Whoop-de-doo. Big college town. Big college town. A lot of Vandy shirts. A lot of Vandy shirts around these parts. A couple people with some Tennessee gear on. We're going to talk about them here shortly. But not anything that I'm like, oh, man, I can't wait to come back here again. I think I would just like to come back just to party.
That's why I like going there. I'll tell you.
I would like to do Broadway one night because I'm in walking distance. I know I have an idea of where I'd come back to, but I'm not going to like go upon myself to go to Broadway tonight. It just doesn't sound like fun. Sounds like a lot of Becky's being really drunk, and Uncle Mike does not want to play that game.
100%. Do not blame you. One fun fact about Tennessee, since you're there, this is a teaser for later, but they have, I think they're the second most tournament appearances without going to a Final Four. Tennessee never been in a Final Four. Fun fact.
Vince is a big orange guy. Remember, everybody. So big orange guy.
There's a chance that Tennessee doesn't even win the first round. And Vanderbilt's playing St. Mary's.
Second.
I know.
Even though they're ranked like second. I mean, they could change the script, Vince. It's a new year. Everything happens for a reason, right?
Hey, man. North Carolina's in the tournament, and they
were horrible.
They put the whipping on last night, and now they're going to play our number one seed. So anything's possible. Anything's possible. Anything is possible, Vince. It's just like Jason Tatum ripped, Kevin Garnett's little speech after he won, right? Negative aura.
Anything's possible.
You're like, you didn't even make that up, Jason.
You copied that, Jason.
Mr. Derulo.
St. Louis Tatum.
He is from St. Louis.
All in all, Vince, I'm not going to disagree. I mean, St. Patrick's Day in Chicago is a special one. So it was a blessing to share it with you, my guy.
Ditto. Lots of graveyards of Jameson bottles and vodka bottles. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah,
graveyards.
I can account for one of them. How you doing?
Yes, certainly I did. Should we get into some strange unusuals right now?
Yeah, let's get into some strange and unusual topics, Vince. I always enjoy talking about them.
How about fake
death? How fake of a death?
Let's go with moment of silence becomes a bad moment of silence because the man that they thought died didn't die. This was from you, sent to me. A football team released an apology for holding a minute's silence to pay tribute to a former player, only to later discover that he was in fact alive.
He's not dead. It's like when the White Sox eulogized Eloy Jimenez because he would get hurt all the time.
Yep. They hung up his jersey and his gloves. You're like, oh, rest in peace to a king. It's like he's just out with like a hamstring issue.
He is constantly hurt all the time. Why he's on a minor league deal with like the Marlins or some shit.
Hey, did you see Moncada and Tim Anderson, big league lineup for the Angels?
Okay, that's about.
And the White Sox are playing them the first game of the season.
In Chicago. You got to love
Yeah,
it. It's like they're coming back, and probably I would put a good bet on the fact that Tim Anderson goes yard that game.
Oh, yeah, me too. I wouldn't even be surprised if he has a great year this year. I would not be surprised at all.
Really? I would be. Well, all the baby mama drama and the strange and unusuals we had about him, right? And then, I don't know. Maybe there's like a semi-agreement going on over there. I don't know. But I agree with you. It's this football team, though, or soccer firm, is quite interesting. That they eulogize the guy, like who did their homework on this, I guess is the real question. They really didn't.
Clearly nobody. So the game wasn't even finished yet when Arda Kardzali, that's the team that held that somber moment, for Petko Ganchev. Destroying the names. They played Levski Sofia that weekend. There you go. Everybody who knows how to pronounce that, I doubt you do because wild.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm just putting like Russian terms on it. There you go.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. But the game wasn't even finished when they posted on social media suggesting that they've been misinformed. Team offered their apologies to the Ganchev and his family, stating the management of PFC Arda would like to express their deepest apologies for former footballer Petko Ganchev and his loved ones after the club received incorrect information regarding his death. We wish him many years of health and to enjoy Arda's successes.
Needless to say, we're happy you're not dead. We still held the moment of silence. Anytime you want to come back, they should honor him. They should throw a party in his, like, just complete
He has the
aura.
opportunity to do the funniest thing ever. They're like, he's not dead. Bring him back. Celebrate him on the field. Dies on the field.
It would be quite anticlimactic, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be like this guy
It would
shows
be
up.
the most climactic. What do you mean? It would be so climactic.
He would just come out to boom.
Yeah.
What if he croaked and he was like waving?
Shit. We lost him. And they're like, give him like 20 minutes before we say anything just to make sure.
It's like,
we don't want to get this wrong twice.
We brought him back. He's fine. He's fine. Now, it would be fun if he played it all out like he came out in like a casket, came out of the casket. Like that would be a good one.
Ooh, like from the dead? What wrestler did that?
The Undertaker?
Yeah, duh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Undertaker, yeah.
I was like, you can't expect me to know that.
Come on, Vince. We barely watched WWE.
I was never
not a big WWE crowd because you always knew it was fake. It was like the fucking Tooth Fairy. Everybody knew that. Like, I'm sorry. If you believed in the Tooth Fairy, even at 10, 8 years old, whatever, you're an asshole. Because who can
you're calling children assholes right now?
No.
That ain't
saying now that you're an adult, don't you look back? Like you were like, I got
an asshole. Dude, I don't know.
Well, it's like you can get to the point where you're socially aware enough, like 7, 8, 9, right? Where you're like, I don't believe a fucking fairy's putting this money under my pillow.
Yeah, because fairies aren't real. But there was a time in my youth where I was like, fairies are real. There's a little bunny. Like all that shit was real, bro.
Here's another question. His name is the Easter Bunny for the record, and that symbolizes Christ resurrecting. Still don't understand it. Bunnies don't lay eggs. Christ
Santa Claus and Jesus
true.
have nothing to do with each other.
And yeah, Saint Nick. I mean, he was a saint, but he's not necessarily Jesus.
That's the closest thing you get.
He knew him. They hung out, you know?
Yeah.
So
they did.
With this.
You don't have to hang out with Jesus to be a saint.
Saint Nicholas and Jesus knew each other. They used to hang out in the holidays. They were drinking buddies. That's that simple.
All right,
back to the point.
The holidays was his birthday. They were just talking about his birthday, dude. There was no
That's how they did it. They, like one day they were in a bar and they're in Jerusalem, and he looked at Saint Nick, looked at Jesus, and he was like, "You should have this should be for everybody, not just you." And he was like, "No, I'm a good guy.
Can I capitalize on your birthday?" He's like, "Oh, God willing." They just let him go.
I mean, listen, I'm going to die for the sins. You bring the gifts. He's like, done. All right. Yeah. So before we get to that, the day of resurrection, there's a fucking Easter bunny. And he's a bunny, a fictitious bunny that hops around to people's homes and drops off gifts. Who the fuck thought this was a good... And he lays eggs.
Children.
Terrifying. If you want to
why did the bunny lay eggs?
Why? Makes no sense.
Should have been like an Easter duck or some shit.
How could you believe that? Easter duck. Let's go back. Maybe Donald Trump could write this in as an executive order.
I don't know how well it's going to go.
Bunnies do not lay eggs. They could never lay one egg. So we're getting rid of the Easter bunny from now on, and moving forward, Easter duck.
That would require our president to understand biology, and I cannot confirm nor deny that he knows anything about biology.
Either way, you had to admit you got when you realized that Easter bunny wasn't real.
Yeah, all of it. I remember I could pinpoint the exact time I learned that that Santa Claus wasn't real. All of these things are in my brain.
Tell us about that. What happened?
So there was a note. There was a note that went out to a bunch of families raising money for like families that were under economic hardship during the fall down of the economy in 2006 and 7.
Okay.
When I was the ripe age of like 10, 11, right around then.
Yeah, that's about time.
Yeah. And it was like, I read the note because it came in the mail before my parents got home. And it was like, at the end of it was just like, because I just really don't want to tell my kids who the real Santa Claus was. And I was like, oh my God, it's the
my goodness, it's my parents.
Shit. And my mom came home. I'm like, what the fuck? And she's like, oh my God, this is not the way you should have learned this. And I was like,
wow,
kids aren't getting like Guitar Hero from Santa Claus. Like, you're doing this shit. And then I was like,
you're doing the Guitar Hero. Like, it's you all along. Yeah,
you guys rock. Like, well, I would take total credit of that. I don't understand why you're giving it to that guy.
Well, because Santa and he was, he's a big thing. I guess it's like, what's the appropriate age to know that he's not real? It's like you can't tell the kid. You got to let them figure it out on their own. It's
yeah,
like
you got to get to middle school, and then all bets are off.
No offense, but if you're like an elder millennial and your parents like had the quote like talk with you about doing the thing, the
birds and the bees. You ever get that?
No,
me either.
You figured it out on your own. The internet.
Yeah. I went to health class and I was like, confirmed my suspicions.
Those Pashades have a place where they fit. Okay, got it. All
remember when we used to go to like the JFK Center or whatever, and you learn about all of like the bodies and shit like that. And then they took us out, like they split the ladies and the gents, and they were like, here's deodorant, and this is what a condom was. And we were all like, oh shit, like we're gonna start smelling bad and we're gonna start peeing white. And you're like, this is crazy, dude. That was awesome. What a concept.
You're gonna start peeing white.
Hey, you're gonna pee custard. You're like, oh, what a beauty.
Oh dear God. What a mental description to keep in your brain.
Just remember that.
All right. Let's talk about some college basketball brackets, shall we? Now that after custard talk.
Custard,
all right,
dude.
All right, Vince. Well, how you feeling about your overall bracket? Cooper Rush. Is that Cooper Rush?
Cooper Rush is the backup quarterback for the
Cooper Flagg.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Cooper Flagg tore his ACL.
Injured. Possibly can come back, they said. Possibly. Doubt it.
I thought he tore his ACL.
I think he sprained it, something like that. I don't know.
Strained ligament is a far different than a torn, of course.
Duh. You're the one that said it, so.
But you got to hope that Duke can get out of that. Now, St. John's has notoriously been running the East, Jewels.
They've been playing well.
They've been playing very well for a long time. Maryland's had some tough games. Yeah, a lot better shooting, very strong defense, wonderful team to watch play live. I've watched a couple of their games, and they are a defensive dynamo. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, so we're going to go. So I haven't filled out a bracket yet because we're going to fill out a taxi squad bracket together.
Hands Across America bracket.
Yeah. But a couple things I have heard through the grapevine, because I get into college basketball like a couple weeks before the tournament. So I'm in it now. I'm not an expert at it. I'm not going to claim to be, but that's the fun. That's the fun of it.
That's the fun of it all.
As far as advanced metrics goes, all number one seeds are far beyond every other number one seed in the past. So like the difference between a 2 and below and number one seeds statistically is wider than it's ever been. So supposedly this is the year where if you're going to go chalk 1-1-1-1, this would be the year to do so. Also, Louisville and Memphis. Two teams. Memphis is ranked higher than Louisville, and Louisville on every statistical category has played better than Memphis all year, leading people to think that maybe the committee that was putting it together just flipped them on accident. There's a good chance that happened.
That could work out really well in Memphis's favor, right?
Certainly, but they shouldn't be there. And then also, I don't know if you heard about what West Virginia's doing right now.
Taking a country road?
That's technically about the western part of Virginia. Did you know that?
Take me home to the place
I belong.
West Virginia.
They're talking about the western portion of Virginia, not the state of West Virginia. Fun fact.
Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. Shout out.
No, but West Virginia is suing the NCAA because North Carolina got in the tournament for some reason.
Oh, yeah, and they didn't.
And North Carolina shouldn't be in this tournament. Now, they did play, San Diego State yesterday, and just absolutely shellacked them. But it is like, this is the argument with the football thing too, where it's like, you got to make it bigger so other teams can get in that could win. It's like, yeah, dude, but no matter what, you can have 64 teams in there and the 65th team is still going to be pissed off. Like, there's no way around it. You can't do it. It's always going to be annoying at that threshold. So again, I don't know if you're going to claim expertise. I'm not going to claim expertise. I know some things. I don't know all things. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, I am not anything of an expert on the college basketball. Do I really enjoy watching it? Is the tournament my favorite thing to watch right now? Yes, because it is fun. It's a good excuse to get out a little bit and watch some really good competitive sports and really maybe see some surprises, that some things that you would have never thought to happen could happen. So that's the fun part of this bracket. You know, you never know. UC San Diego could beat Michigan. Right? You never know. Yale could top Michigan. Yale could come in out of nowhere and surprise Texas A&M, which I do have a theory that I do believe some of these Big East teams are going to surprise some SEC teams because of the fact that the conference play is so much more competitive. So I could see that being
Big East has been like a little poopy this year. Hey, did you see that DePaul
we got to understand what's the.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. I think that's going to just like really.
We're coming.
Well, they're not in the bracket. So
I know, but Chris Holtzman is changing some stuff around at DePaul University. So one of these days, maybe we'll sneak in there.
I think what everybody needs to start thinking about the fact that Robert Morris made the top 63.
Yeah, I went to high school with him.
Robert Morris, if anybody doesn't know this, is like anybody almost gets in there. They have like a decent program though, which is insane.
Well, this is the thing too that I've needed to remind a couple people. And if you're listening to this, you're probably already privy to this various easy logic that you can understand. There are more good basketball teams than there are good football teams in college because there are only 15 basketball players on a team and there are 50 plus football players on a team. So that is why it is easily more competitive, where like an American or a Southern Illinois Edwardsville can make this tournament and not even get close to the football one because there's just less expensive to run a program and there's less guys on the team.
Basketball is a completely different animal when we're talking about the elements of completing a team and the amount of athletic talent you need to do so. Yeah. And I mean, in college basketball, more so than professional basketball, you don't need to be 6'7" or 6'9". I mean, isn't it an advantage? Yes, it's a big advantage.
Hey, Cam Krutwig.
Yeah, Cam Krutwig. Jacobs legend, plays in Spain now, come to find out. Did some homework on that. How about that? Vince, there's a kid we should reach out to. Let's get Cam Krutwig on a podcast.
Would love that.
There we go. That's a deep cut. You graduated with him, didn't you?
No, he's 4 years younger than me.
Oh, okay.
Mike, he graduated high school or college like a year and a half ago. I'm 30, bro.
You're 22. Shut up. Shut up. He's 22. He doesn't have any gray beard or gray hair.
My skin's glowing though. Come on now.
Oh, he's a glowing cherub child. He's a glowing.
How you doing?
Starting to get a little jawline going now. Back in the gym. What's up, dude?
How you doing?
Yeah. All right.
Should we start our bracket a little bit then?
Let's start our bracket, Vince. Let's go.
All right. So what we're going to do is go by each different matchup and make a decision. So why not start from the top left, go from the south? Number 1 versus number 16, Auburn, Alabama State. Auburn, right?
Yeah, I'm going to roll Auburn with this pick for sure.
8 and 9, Louisville, Creighton. Mike, what state is Creighton in?
Missouri.
I think Nebraska, right?
Oh, there we go. Nebraska. I was close. Midwest.
Omaha. Yeah.
All right.
I always forget that. Louisville or Creighton?
Wasn't the draw here was Louisville and Memphis? Like Louisville didn't perform well. Somebody thought, I think Creighton, 8 and 9 seed, I think Creighton could pull it out. They got a really cool little logo.
They got sued.
And I love that's how
by the Blue Jays.
Did they get sued? Oh, did they?
Yeah, and the Blue Jays lost because Creighton's older than the Blue Jays. I don't know if I agree with you.
Really?
I think Louisville is going to be a pretty good team. I think they're actually getting severely underrated right now. Do we do coin flip?
I feel like I'm feeling Creighton. Something in my bones is feeling Creighton, buddy.
I'm thinking we got to find because I'm pretty confident in Louisville right now. So we got to figure out. So we could do coin flip.
What are their records? If they're both 8 and 9, if they're both seeded 8 and 9,
well,
what are the
Louisville?
records?
Louisville shouldn't be an 8 seed. They should be a 7 seed.
Okay.
That's my whole thing.
I mean, still, they're so close.
Louisville is 18 and 2.
Okay.
And Creighton is 15 and 5.
See?
Yeah, Louisville's better.
Yeah, by 3 games. And I mean, that could
know.
have just been early season. I mean, really, how has Creighton and Louisville played in their last 5?
Creighton had lost their last game. 6 and 5 away, 15 and 2 at home. They don't play at home in this tournament.
Okay.
All right. Well, so okay. We pick Creighton on this. The next flip up, I get the call.
All right, fair.
Count? All right. Creighton's moving on. Michigan, UC San Diego. Michigan's a funny little team. 5-12 matchup. Usually one of those end up going through. We have Oregon, Liberty on the other side. Don't see that's going to happen. I want to take Michigan still.
I think Michigan is the play at this one.
Okay.
To
Yale,
me, it feels Michigan.
Yeah, it does. Yale, Texas A&M. Yale 13 seed, Texas A&M 4. Texas A&M bad in every playoff ever for any sport.
Once again, I feel like Yale is another team for me. It's just like they might be 13 and 13th on paper.
I like
I kind of like them too. I think they're smart. Basketball trajectories, geometry. You got to be smart to play it.
Yeah.
Smart guy school.
You just say geometry.
Yeah. Trajectory.
Well, basketball is geometry and
you think about angles and shit. I don't know.
All right, Yale. Cool. Let's take
Yale. Like Yale.
North Carolina, the run's over. I see it going.
You think it's over?
I see it going 2 ways. North Carolina shouldn't have made it in the tournament, 100%. So that means they're probably going to go on a run. Ole Miss is also pretty good, though. 11th versus a 6 seed, but North Carolina shouldn't be in this in the first place. Where are you thinking? North Carolina's not good this year.
Ole Miss has been playing some really good basketball.
Yeah.
And see, man, they're getting hot at the right time now.
I know, but they've been so bad this year.
But it's North Carolina.
I know.
And they're like basketball royalty.
But that's why they got in. They shouldn't have, but it's because they're a blue blood.
That's where I'm going.
You're going North Carolina?
I'm
okay with it. I think
like
it'd be funny. I think it'd be funny if they go for a run and we can just lean on it. All right, North Carolina.
All right, let's do it. And
Iowa State, Lipscomb.
Lipscomb. Iowa State.
Iowa State.
Iowa State.
Fuck Marquette.
Why
Never
fuck
gonna
Marquette? You want the Lobos?
I will take New Mexico over Marquette. Marquette is maybe my least favorite basketball team in the country.
Why?
Because biggest rival of DePaul.
But they're good. You can't bring emotion into this, Vince.
Fuck them. They've
New
been bad.
Mexico?
Marquette was good all year until like a month ago, and then they started fucking up.
Can I tell you how much I hate New
nation.
Mexico? Can I tell you how much I hate the great state of New Mexico? I don't hate it. I dislike it greatly.
It doesn't matter to me, honestly, because Marquette was they were 4 in the nation almost all year. And then when tournament play happened, now they're suddenly 7th seed. Not 7th in the nation, the 7th seed in the West, or what is it, the South bracket? No. If I'm taking a 10-7, I'm taking New Mexico all day.
All right, this is your pick. I don't like it, but I'm going to go with it because I'm a Midwest guy. But
yeah,
all right.
Fuck Marquette.
New Mexico, it is, Vince.
Michigan State, Bryant, Izzo.
Michigan State,
Izzo. Okay. Moving down to the West, Florida, Norfolk. Florida's fucking good, dude.
Florida's been dogging all season.
Florida's
you can't
so
not
good.
pick them. Yeah, Florida. Give me Florida.
Okay. UConn, not as good as they've been. Oklahoma,
they're going to beat
sneaky
Oklahoma.
good, but they're going to beat them.
They're going to beat them. Defensively, Oklahoma hasn't played a team like that.
Now, Memphis
not
5
playing in
seed.
the SEC.
Memphis 5 seed. Should they be a 5 seed? Some would say no. Colorado State beat Deion Sanders.
That two different college sports, Vince.
That's in football, but they did. They did, dude. This is a toss-up. I'd probably take Memphis, but your call.
I'm going to lean Memphis because I'm just not a big believer in the Big 12 because I believe they're in the Big 12, right?
Yeah.
As a conference. Yeah, I don't see many teams in the Big 12 getting to the Elite 8. Yeah. So let's see what we got here.
Derrick Rose's alma mater. Memphis moves on. Maryland versus Grand Canyon. Terrapins versus whatever Grand Canyons is.
Do you want to know where the Grand Canyon State is located, Vince?
Arizona.
GCU. Yes, Arizona.
Yeah.
A lot of kids love that school. Anytime my brother-in-law, youngest one, very pretty. My brother-in-law thought about going there as opposed to Northern Arizona, and decided on that very, very Christian-based school. So they do have Jesus on their side. But Maryland has lost a lot of games this year that they had no business losing, and I don't think they're going to continue that route. So give me Maryland.
Okay. Missouri versus Drake. Where's Drake? Where's Drake located?
Drake's in Iowa.
Nice. Good job.
Yeah, I know that one.
Mizzou.
Ryan in Iowa.
Similar to football.
So hard.
Mizzou has been up and down. They get high. They go low.
They get low. They get high.
I kind of fuck with Drake here.
They get high.
They get high. They go low.
I mean, Mizzou can't lose this. They've been too good all year.
I know, but that's why they might.
But that goes back to my Creighton and Mark. Okay, I think Creighton, you're on Marquette for some odd reason against fucking.
I hate Marquette. I already told you why.
All right.
Marquette.
Yeah, Bulldogs. Let's go
Bulldogs. All right. Texas Tech, UNC, Wilmington.
Wilmington. Okay. See, to me, this is something where I'm like, this could be an upset. I don't know what it. Something in my gut. I don't know.
Hey, Baker Mayfield, Pat Mahomes.
Once again, two totally different sports. I just feel like this is upset, but let's just roll Texas Tech Big 12.
All right. Calipari versus Kansas. Bill Self, Calipari matchup. Calipari
got called an asshole or called a ESPN sportscaster an asshole.
Yeah.
On live television.
Hey, I want to make one more argument for New Mexico, by the way.
Oh, Jesus, what?
Do you know who their coach is?
No.
Richard Pitino.
Okay.
The son of one Rick Pitino.
Oh, wouldn't there be a junior involved if they're both dicks, a.k.a. Richards?
Depends on his middle name.
Shout out to Chef Richard, by the way. Sweet
Chef
apron,
Richard Ross. Sick apron.
Sick.
Calipari versus Bill Self. Who's taking this?
Kansas had a rough go of it this year. Not the powerhouse they usually are. And give me Kansas.
I agree. St. John's
because
wins.
you're not. Yeah, and then St. John's and Omaha.
I have a feeling St. John's might make a run in our bracket, but that's just me guessing.
I have a feeling.
All right, we're in the East. Duke versus whoever wins tonight between American and what is that? Mississippi State? MSM? Who's MSM?
Yeah, I'm still going Duke, regardless
it doesn't
of
matter.
Flag's injury.
Yeah, not Mississippi State. Who is playing tonight? Why am I forgetting this?
I don't know. MSM. What's MSM?
Oh, Mount St. Mary's. That's what it is. I would like to say that I do not know. So Duke. All right. Baylor versus Mississippi State. Baylor, previous champion from the last couple of years. Mississippi State.
I was about to say Baylor as a program for the basketball has really been on fire lately. So I like Baylor.
Okay. It's an 8-9, so it's a toss-up. I'll take Baylor with you. Oregon, Liberty. Liberty, speaking of having God on your side, Liberty doesn't even let people hug at their school. So
yeah,
that's
do they let
cool.
them? Are they a Mormon faith?
I don't know. Ask Malik Willis.
Well, I mean, Malik is a decent backup. Once again, nothing to do with it. Oregon, just because of NIL money and Nike.
Yeah, agreed. Arizona versus Akron. AZ.
Give me Arizona.
Done. BYU has been good, and they run at a faster pace than most teams this year. I like BYU over VCU.
I like Mormons. I'm taking the Mormons.
Done. Wisco, the last couple weeks have been pretty fucking good. Montana.
Wisco is going to show the Big Ten who's boss. Give me Wisconsin.
Agreed. A team that always seems to make it, St. Mary's versus Vanderbilt. Welcome to the dance, Vandy.
Welcome to the dance, Vandy. Vandy, I'm in Vandy Town right now. You know, St. Mary's, though, to your point, always a solid basketball program. Every year. It's just like tried and true. So I think St. Mary's. Give me St. Mary's.
All right, and then we're taking Bama, obviously, right?
Yeah, I don't think Bama's going to lose to Robert Morris.
Yeah, it's not the craziest thing, but it's probably unlikely. So we pick all favorites there. The last area of the bracket here.
All favorites in the East. Or is that the East or the West?
That was the East. They say East, but like all these teams aren't in the East. That's what annoys me.
It's very odd. All right, Midwest.
Houston versus SIU Edwardsville.
I'm going to go Houston.
Me too. I can't believe SIU even made it.
Good for SIU.
All right. Zaga versus Georgia.
Give me Gonzaga.
I agree. 100%. No conversation. Move on. Clemson, McNeese.
There's talks that D-Wade's leaving McNeese. So
D-Wade?
He's the coach at McNeese.
Dwayne Wade is?
Yeah, this is like an article on ESPN as we speak. Yes. I don't know if anybody knows this. Wade to leave McNeese.
He's not the head coach.
Will Wade. Not.
I was like, doesn't he have part ownership in the Utah Jazz? Why would he be the head coach of McNeese?
Will Wade. Sorry, I think basketball. My brain immediately goes to Dwayne Wade.
Hall of Famer Dwayne Wade.
He's also the head coach at McNeese.
Where is McNeese State? Where is it? You think he's in Lake Charles, Louisiana, coaching a basketball team right now?
All right. Well, McNeese is losing their head coach, so I think Clemson's going to beat him.
I'll take it. Oh, that rocked. That was awesome. All right. Purdue versus High Point. People like High Point. If I'm taking a 13-4, upset, this is maybe it.
No. I like.
They
Purdue.
are not as good without Zach Edey, and that's been
nobody's
the case all
as
year.
good without Zach Edey. Look at Memphis; they're good with Zach Edey.
Yeah,
I can't pick against the Boilermakers, bro.
I know. It's just I think I kind of get annoyed by them too. But we can go Purdue.
Hey, Vince, how do you know that somebody went to Purdue?
Because they're assholes, or they're engineering.
No, they'll just tell you.
Oh yeah.
They'll tell you.
They will tell
you. People who go to Notre Dame. It's kind of the same principle, but I feel like their side of Indiana is far less pretentious. Very nice people go to Purdue, and usually they get their master's degree there.
So, yeah, in engineering most of the time.
Yep, there you go.
We got another 6-11 matchup for the play-in here.
So it's either going to be Xavier or Texas?
Yeah.
I'm assuming Xavier's north. I just could think Northeast.
Yeah, and then Illinois is going to beat either of them. That's kind of where my thought is.
Illinois could go on another run this year. Hey, it's going to be interesting to play out. All right, let's go Illinois.
Yep. Kentucky, Troy, 13-4 or 3 versus 14.
Troy.
Yeah, Bolton. Yeah, Kentucky. UCLA versus Utah State. I think last time they played in the tournament, Lou Alcindor was at UCLA, if I read that correctly.
Who's that?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go. Give me Utah.
Utah State. I'll take it. I like that.
I like that pick.
Tennessee, Wolford. Again, Tennessee never made it to a Final Four. But
remember,
this is the year.
Who was the guy? Who was the white kid draining threes for Wolford last year? Remember
Are you talking about?
It was Wolford.
Was it Wolford?
I'm trying to remember. He was great.
What the hell? Who was? Okay, well, I'm seeing Fletcher McGee right now, which is such a fucking name.
He was like the talk of the town of the tournament.
I remember.
Last year, I mean, he won games single-handedly.
I need to figure this out because I know his name, but it's not in my head.
Either way, Orange Team, Vince.
Tennessee. Let's run. I don't know if it was Tennessee. Wolford, though. What was that kid's fucking name, bro?
I don't know. Let's start back at the top. Auburn, Creighton.
Hold on. I need to find this kid's name. White guy shooter. Jack Golke. That's who I was thinking of.
Was he at Wolford?
He was on Oakland. Not California, though.
That's right.
It was random Oakland. All right. Back up to the top. Round of 32. Auburn versus Creighton. I'm taking Auburn again.
I like that pick.
They're good.
I think they're very good.
Michigan, Yale, Smarties.
It would be cool to see Yale go on a scotch of a run.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think they could do it.
I agree. Yale, in.
Yale, in.
All right. Let's just let's keep going then on these, and then we'll move to the Final Four when we're done. Auburn versus Yale. Auburn wins again.
Yeah, give me Auburn again.
I agree. Okay. North Carolina versus Iowa State.
North Carolina versus Iowa State.
You gotta take Iowa State.
Give me Iowa State. Yeah,
North Carolina's not good. Michigan State, New Mexico. Richard Pitino versus Tom Izzo. Not Rick Pitino, Richard.
Dick Pitino, Tom Izzo. Let's go Pitino.
Let's take Richard Pitino. They're beating Michigan State. Izzo's going to be pissed. 3-10 matchup there. All right, moving down. Florida, UConn, Florida. UConn's not UConn. UConn was UConn, not this year. They're not.
All right, let's go Florida. You're right. You right.
I want them to be, but they're not. And Memphis, Maryland, 5 versus 4.
Maryland.
Now we got Florida versus Maryland.
Florida.
Agreed. Drake versus Texas Tech. Drake. Drizzy Drake. Pride of Iowa.
Drizzy. Pride of Iowa.
Kind of like it. You're going to get a lower seat. Get up.
Kind of like it too.
I'll take it.
Give me Drake.
All right, let's go Drake.
We're rolling Drake. If Drake goes all the way, like buying a Drake jersey.
I'm with you. Double Patinos in the Sweet 16. We got St. John's versus Kansas.
Well, give me St. John's.
All right. And then Drake versus St. John's. Is this where Drake ends?
I think this is where it ends for Drake.
I agree. All right. So now we got Florida and St. John's in the Elite Eight now. All right. Moving back up. Duke.
Wait, who do we pick for Iowa State, New Mexico?
Oh, good call. I'm an idiot. Iowa State versus New Mexico.
I'm going to say Iowa State.
I am too. All right. Now we got that side of the Elite Eight set. All right. Duke versus Baylor. Duke moving on. Do they need flag now? John Shire.
I like Duke again.
Yeah, me too.
I like more Duke. Give me more Duke.
AZ versus Oregon.
AZ.
Yeah. And then Duke versus Arizona. Duke again.
I'm going to say Arizona.
All right, I'm with you there. Eventually, Duke's got to go if Cooper Flag's not playing. All right, BYU, Wisconsin. I kind of like BYU here. They play so fast, and I love that.
Yeah. Let's go BYU.
All right, fighting Mormons. Give me another Fredette. St. Mary's versus Bama. Bama's really
St.
good.
Mary's might be the dude. Alabama last year was Sweet 16, right? So that could be very well the second coming. But then again, St. Mary's is so good at basketball.
Yeah,
I think St. Mary's might be in the Elite Eight this year. I'm
6-7.
I feel it. I feel it.
All right, let's run it. Something's going to happen. We always know it. All right, Houston versus Gonzaga. Houston. Houston got kicked out early last year, and they don't want that shit again. I know that for a fact.
Let's roll Houston.
Clemson, Purdue. I'm taking Clemson, but I wanted High Point, so
let's go. Yeah, let's go Clemson.
Okay. Illinois or wait, do I have to? No, we're good.
Illinois, Kentucky.
Oh, yeah. Houston, Clemson. Hold on.
Oh, Houston, Clemson, and go back and do BYU St. Mary's.
Jesus Christ, I'm fucking this up.
Come on, Vince.
Welcome to my life. BYU St. Mary's.
St. Mary's.
Okay. I'm running with your dogs here. All right, Houston,
Big
Clemson.
Dog pod.
Houston,
Clemson. Let's go Houston.
Yep. I think they're just really good. Illinois versus Kentucky. Calipari,
Illinois.
Kentucky. Me too.
I like Illinois.
Utah State, Tennessee. Give me Tennessee.
Only 10 I see. And then
Illinois, Tennessee.
Give me
Orange versus
Tennessee. Orange teams.
Oh, yeah.
Tennessee.
Let's get Tennessee, dude. Let's keep going. All right. Now we are finally at the Elite
Eight.
Elite Eight. Auburn versus Iowa State.
Auburn.
Has to. Arizona St. Mary's? Keep it going?
What about Florida and St. John's?
Where they're down here, right?
West.
Yeah, they're right here.
Okay, so Florida and St. John's, who wins?
St. John's.
Okay, St. John's. So St. John's and
I was
Auburn.
just doing it because it was up here. I want to go by each matchup now because we're in the Final Four. All right, Arizona St. Mary's.
Got it. Arizona St. Mary's. Arizona.
Oh, sure.
Fuck it. Let's go St. Mary's.
Yeah. Keep running, boys. Keep running, boys. Oh, yeah. I love it. All right. Houston, Tennessee, 1 versus 2.
Tennessee.
Oh, yeah. Tennessee, welcome to the Final Four for the first time in your history. All right. Here we go. Auburn or St. John's?
St. John's.
In the championship, Tennessee or St. Mary's?
Tennessee.
Has to. All right. St. John's or Tennessee? 2 versus 2.
St. John's.
Yes, I agree. Let's fucking go. We got St. John's. All right, tiebreaker. How many points will be scored in the championship game?
I'm going to say 138.
I like that. 138. And we are entered, my friend. Let's go.
I love it.
Okay. Let's see if we're good. Clearly, we know everything about basketball based on that.
We know a lot about basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, we truly know a lot.
And by that, it's not that much. We probably can know more. But you know what? That's the beauty of this. We'll see if it happens. And I like.
We're not always going to be right, people. We're not always going to be right. That's the one thing about Taxi Spot Podcast.
We're usually wrong.
We're usually pretty wrong.
Yeah.
But with all of that, speaking of being wrong, what is the MLB's thought process right now of starting the season, but not starting the season, but starting the season?
They've done this before, haven't they?
Wasn't this like the beginning of something last year that they like? It just makes no sense to me.
Why do you
start in Japan, then you go back to AZ?
Yeah.
and finish out spring training, and then you start the first week of April. Like, what is the point of this?
They just want to play games in Japan.
Why? Just because Shohei and Imanaga and all these guys coming in now?
They've made so much money.
Yeah.
Shota Imanaga, Shohei. Who's the other guy on the Dodgers?
I forget his name.
Ishikawa?
Ishikawa.
Yeah.
What'd you call me?
Nothing bad. Yeah, I mean, that's why. They just want to continue to build the Japanese name. Japanese players are very good. So much to the case that the Cubs played the Hanshin Tigers at the Tokyo Dome and were shut out 3-0.
Really?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Like, they're literally like some of these Japanese teams can play in the MLB right now. If the White Sox came, they would still only win 21 games.
I think I have an idea. Okay. Similar to the Premier League. You know how when you really suck in the Premier League, they knock you down a league?
Yeah.
What if your punishment of not winning enough games or losing your division or being the bottom barrel of the two teams means you get sent to fucking Japan for a year?
I love that idea.
And then they bring in the top Japanese team to compete in the AL Central or whatever division had the top 4 terrible teams. And then boom, now we have some real competition. And then boom, all right, you have Luis Robert playing in Japan, and he doesn't necessarily want to be in Japan.
Yeah.
But tough shit, you're in Japan.
I would love
Suck
that.
less.
I don't.
And then if you lose in Japan and you're the worst team in Japan, you get relegated to North Korea.
I agree. We should send our baseball players to North Korea. I don't know why we haven't done that.
Hey, Dennis Rodman did it. I mean, basketball.
Yeah, under his own
saying.
volition.
Basketball. That's half this podcast, by the way.
It's true.
Give me the ball because I'm going to dunk it.
I kind of like it.
It would be
baseball. Well, no, not your idea. I don't think we can do that.
Why?
Because relegation of the Premier League keeps you in the country.
So
you can't relegate somebody to it. No. Taxation is different. Working is different.
Fuck them.
Oh, I actually forgot to think about. I forgot about thinking about that. It's fine. It's fine the way it is. I don't think you could do that.
My only reasoning, Vince, is fuck them.
I agree. Under that, guys, I agree. Bro. But no, I think it's kind of cool. But also, it's weird that they start like this. The Dodgers did it like last year, I think. They start the season, they're 0-2 or 2-0, and then 4 weeks later the season starts, and you're like, oh, they're already 2-0. Cubs got swept. They're 0-2 the entire month of March now.
They're 0-2 the entire month of March. Everybody I've read on the internet is like, you see Cub fans in comments saying, see, Kyle Tucker fucking sucks. I'm like, the guy's played 2 games, and he almost took Mike's head off.
Yeah, Chicago writers piss me off a lot. Always have.
Kyle Tucker just doesn't look
Chicago
like he's
fans
worth
piss me off.
The max deal you'd have to pay him. Really? He's probably the best outfielder you've had in a long time.
The Bears did an introductory conference for Olamide Zacchaeus the other day, and the first question was, Jaden Daniels is a very good quarterback. Tell me what makes him good. I'm like, this is his intro to being a Bear, and his first question off the bat was about Jaden Daniels. Like, I don't ask him about the team that he's on now. What are we doing?
Oh no.
Kyle Tucker sucks. You have 160 games to figure that out. You have so many games. Like, what do we do? Like, settle down. People just want to be right so bad that they just jump to conclusions. And I'm just not like that, dude. I'm also, that's the same way as saying the Bears signed some guys at free agency good, but I'm not going to say they won everything now. It's not like it's not a zero. It's a zero-sum game. It doesn't make sense.
I recommend everyone go back and look at the PFF ratings that the PFF ratings they were giving the Bears in articles for winning free agency, and everybody else was like, the Bears won free agency. It's like the season needs to start because we won 5 fucking games.
Also, the best players don't go to free agency. The best players
Usually
sign
they don't.
before they get to free
You
agency.
need to build it through the draft. And 9 times out of 10, if you build it correctly through the draft, the players are going to stay.
100%.
The MLB is in a fickle little beast right now, though, because if you really break it down, like the whole outing of the analytics side of the game has been a real thing. And unless you're a franchise that's a dumpster fire like the Chicago White Sox, you don't believe in those things. So the next step of baseball is going to be quite interesting. And I just feel like what's going to be the next advantage of getting an uptick? Is it just going to be signing everybody from Japan?
Yeah.
Because they're different. And then in a couple of years,
the same way
they
the
get
Cuban boom happened and the Dominican boom
but it all
happened.
fades. It all fades. And then before you know it, then where are you going to source players from? And then it'll go back to full circle in America?
Very well
Living in America, buddy?
Well, also it's teams willing to spend a lot of money. I mean, the Dodgers have spent billions of dollars. The discrepancy of salary in baseball is higher than every other league.
Yeah.
Like by far.
There really is no cap.
There isn't like luxury tax, but whatever. Like I think I think the Dodgers are nearing like $2 billion in close to guaranteed money. And I think like the Royals and the White Sox and stuff have spent like $100 million.
Yeah, but the difference is the Royals are actually competing in the Central.
Yeah, because they draft properly.
They draft properly and they believe in the analytics. So they boost the analytics department, draft, and grow talent. The White Sox haven't been capable of growing talent.
Yeah,
now you could look at
the White Sox suck, and they will always suck. It's bad.
You could look at the Cubs and say, okay, they're growing talent. Matt Shaw is their top third base prospect.
PCA's good, dude.
Who? Oh, yeah. Pete Crow Armstrong is a dog.
Fast guy.
Very fast, very athletic for his size. And not only that, he can hit for average. Yeah. And he was hitting dingers in spring training. So
hell yeah.
It's not, the jury's not out. But they do grow talent better than the south side of town.
Every team does.
They are pretending to spend money or trying to spend money when they have no intention on spending money at all.
Yeah. I think we talked about this like 2 weeks ago. It's like they signed small contracts or like simple trades for good players that they're not going to have to pay in 2 years.
Yeah. I still believe the Ricketts are returning their investment. Daddy helped front the money. Now the boys are like, okay, we need to go and buy all this property, make all the income. We're going to pretend as if that we're competing. We're going to suck for a couple of years, maybe win a division, stay in the hunt enough, and then lose the last 3 weeks like they have the past 2 years.
Yep.
And if you're a Cub fan and if you believe otherwise, I'd love to hear your take. So call it in.
I'd 100%
hear it out.
312-725-2107.
We want to hear it. We want to hear it. Air it out.
I will say, though, they can win that division.
I've maintained on this podcast that I think the Brewers aren't out of it, and the Cardinals might surprise some people.
I don't understand the Cardinals thing. They have a decrepit nursing home their starting rotation is a nursing home. Their entire lineup outside of Nolan Arenado and Wilson Contreras are like 23.
This is what they do. They grow and groom their talent. Jordan Walker's going to be good. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
One day, not this year.
We'll see. He got sent down last year. I think he needs to perform this year. Otherwise, you're up shit's creek without a paddle. The St. Louis Cardinals always do this. They have 2 or 3 years, they go low, and then they come back with a great vengeance.
Yeah, but you got to build the team. They lost Goldie, too. Like, they don't have a good team.
Goldie is a fading star at first base, has had 2 down years, okay? And he's not going to do what you think he's going to do on the Yankees.
I know, but that doesn't mean that they're
goofy handle and stance.
That doesn't mean they're a competitive team. Like, they could come in last in the division this year.
We'll see. I think the Pirates are still going to come in last.
I think the Pirates have more talent than the Cardinals have right now.
That's an aggressive statement.
No, it's not. Brian Reynolds, O'Neal Cruz, Paul Skeens might be the best pitcher in the league now because Garrett Cole's out. Like, he's going to be up for Cy Young.
Garrett Cole isn't that good. Garrett Cole was starting to fade last year.
Garrett Cole has been up for Cy Youngs in the past.
So was Chris Sale.
Who wins the Central this year? AL?
NL? AL? I'm going to say the Royals.
I want to say Detroit.
Nah. Royals. Bobby Witt Jr. is too good, dude.
You see how far Detroit got in the playoffs last year?
Bobby Witt Jr. is too good. They have one of the best young prospects in all of baseball. They're putting that thing together just like they did a decade ago. I feel like they're probably going to have
rotation's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, Detroit. I understand.
They got a Cy Young winner. Jack Flaherty's on the team now. He might play some good innings for him. Like Torkelson's actually playing up to his level eventually.
Yeah, Torkelson's actually playing up to the Andrew Vaughn style that we were promised.
Torres.
Gleyber Torres is like the younger version of Javi Baez.
A little bit. Javi Baez isn't going to play as bad anymore. Oh, for sure. But their whole outfield's good.
I don't think Detroit might. I think it's going to be Detroit and Kansas City the entire year.
But then you're like, oh, Cleveland.
Cleveland may have the best shortstop prospect in all the game.
If you're talking
shout out to Donnie Marbit. He told us that last year.
Facts.
So they may have the best shortstop prospect in all the game. I think his name is Nico something.
Yeah. But if you're talking about the Cardinals always sneaking up and doing it, like the A1 number one team that just always ends up getting there for some reason is Cleveland.
I like the Royals this year. I really do. It just Bobby Witt Jr. may be the best player in baseball.
Very well.
Maybe the best infielder in the game right now.
He's a 29 tool player. He can do everything.
He is a true 5-tool player. He can run. He can hit. He can hit for average. He can field. He can
hit for power. Everything.
Yeah, he's it.
I like this thought process. What about the AL East? Yankees are worse.
Boston with Crochet seems to just be ready to take it all.
Old man Bregman playing DH, maybe?
No.
Devers doesn't
they're going to split time. Devers will potentially stay at third, and they'll split time between third and DH, and then you'll see Story continue to play at short. But then again, you could move Bregman to second, and it's not going to be a big deal. So, and you get to now
play Pedroia play.
Well, right, yeah. Where's Pedroia play? But if you could walk in the footsteps of a Pedroia and play second base for the Red Sox, it's kind of a big deal.
That's true.
Who was the guy with all the chains and stuff, and he played for Boston and then played for the Yankees?
Which one? Verdugo?
He's not even signed, nor is Anthony Rizzo, which to me is quite interesting.
Older men, man.
They're starting to age, and no team wants them. I'm surprised the White Sox haven't gone after Verdugo.
I'm surprised the White Sox didn't go after Rizzo.
Yeah, Rizzo would
sell some tickets.
I would buy a Rizzo jersey. I would totally buy it.
Immediately I'm purchasing an Anthony Rizzo White Sox jersey.
Yeah, it's like when you got a Ken Griffey Jr. jersey.
But no, it's more just like rage bait. I will just wear it around Wrigleyville and they'd be like, fuck you. I'm like, he's on the team, dude. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
Dude, what are you saying? He's on the team.
He's signed. You guys get it.
AL West?
I was just thinking about that. Astros aren't going to be as good. Or sorry, new nickname, Ass Hose. Appreciate that.
Ass Hose.
Thank you for the
Love
hats.
the assholes. T-Pass.
Texas, DeGrom's actually going to play, but for how long? Is he too old?
Reconstructed elbow usually can last.
Seattle always stinks a little bit.
Seattle might surprise some people.
I know, you were jacked about him. I still don't understand that.
They're very talented. Randy Rosarina and Francisco Rodriguez. 2 names. There you go.
Seattle, Texas, Houston, and the Angels. They're not winning it.
Unless Tim Anderson, wins another Silver Slugger.
But they don't even have pitching. Also, Lucas Giolito, then a 5th starter for the Red Sox. Don't forget it.
In a world where all the prospects where all the former prospects for the White Sox actually are great.
Yeah.
The Angels bring to you the team that never was.
Yep.
And then you have Tim Anderson, getting the angel wings under him, like the Angels in the outfield. Maybe Tim Anderson was the kid in Angels in the outfield going, it could happen, but 25 years
Could
after,
be.
30 years after the fact, right?
Could
Come
be.
on.
I mean, he does need like a actual resurrection, so we'll see.
There you have it.
It's the Rangers or the Astros. So I'm gonna take the Rangers.
I'm not sleeping on the Mariners.
I believe you're not.
Not sleeping on them. They're really good at baseball.
NL West
And
Dodgers.
they have some of the best. They have some of the best talent on the roster, probably in all the AL West right now.
That's the problem, though. Talent versus actual.
Well, if they could
winning
put
games.
it together, they were winning the entire AL West last year until shortly after the All-Star break, and then fell off of the cliff. So they have
Mariners
the tools to do it.
And how many guys
did
have they signed this year?
Not a lot.
Almost nobody.
They believe in their team, Vince. They believe in their team.
NL West, obviously Dodgers.
Duh.
Obviously Dodgers.
I'd love to see the D-backs like do something, but
yeah,
I feel so bad for that team because their only chance of making the playoffs is a wild card spot.
100%. They're just, and the Padres are good too. It's just you can't.
The Padres are loaded with Cease and Bogarts and Machado, and Tatis is back, and yeah, it's kind of impressive.
It just sucks that they have the Dodgers. NL West.
Phils said that. NL East.
Oh, East, excuse me. Phils, Mets, dude, they went on a Detroit Tigers run last year.
Well, now you have Soto.
I know.
I feel like you just have to pick the Mets because based off of how much money they've spent over the past 2 years.
Fighting Phils, though.
Fighting Phils always make it somewhat close.
And there is a team in Atlanta that's pretty fucking good, Mike.
And that's true. Chris Sale
played really well last year.
Back.
Spencer Strider still good. Acuna, he went 50-50 last year or whatever?
Yeah.
And the Marlins fuck him, but whatever. I don't know if the Braves win it. I don't know, dude. The Braves have to win it.
I feel like the Mets are going to be there. Whether they're going to be rooting for. I just feel like they spend too much money. It's on principle.
But that doesn't always work.
I'm heavy Red Sox in the AL East based off all the injuries. I'm heavy Dodgers NL West, and I kind of really feel the same about the Mets.
Well, how about Bellinger?
East. I understand. Staying on topic.
Goldschmidt?
Yeah, those are all guys who are not good anymore.
I know.
They were great once, but they're no longer
and
great.
That team that they had were in the World Series last year.
Yeah, but now you've lost arguably your best player.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to replace that. Cody Bellinger isn't replacing that. Although I do believe structurally they could be better. But Stanton can't stay healthy.
Nope.
That's a huge power bat in that lineup, and that's going to make something overall. Now, Soto has his slew of injury problems. Ronald Acuna Jr., just his joints are made of noodles.
Yeah.
So they have a similar problem on their hands. I still think the Mets are going to win.
You could have 3 teams in the NL East that are all in the playoffs. I could see that.
Very well could. It's real.
And if not the East, the West. It's not going to be Central.
I think the D-backs run was short-lived, and
that was fairy tale.
I don't think they're going to be able. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to duplicate that again. And Corbin Burns had not a very good year.
Oh yeah, the Orioles. The Orioles could very well win the AL East. They could very well win that.
That's true. If you look at the Orioles, the O's, man, they are put together as a roster.
I love that team.
Yeah, and if Jackson Holliday can actually be the best prospect in all of baseball.
I think he can.
And then you have Rushman and Scooter.
Hauser, and you got Gunnar Henderson. Dude, they're a squad. I think they might win the AL East. I'm taking back everything I
would love to see the O's win the AL East. They're due. City of Maryland's due. Baltimore's due.
City of Maryland.
Something about Flacco. I love them. You know?
Something about Flacco. The city of Maryland, the state of Baltimore is due. I've been saying that for years.
All right. Let's talk about a little bit of football.
And then we'll get out of here.
And then get the fuck out of here. All right. So the Lions recently proposed a very interesting seeding by record.
Yeah.
And Pat McAfee broke this today.
Do you want me to read through it a
I
bit?
believe. No, this was a yet. Yeah, it's very interesting to kind of understand it.
Yeah.
But the approach doesn't necessarily take the division winner into effect anymore.
Yeah. So they proposed a change that would use regular season records as the guiding principle rather than division championships. The division winner with the conference's best record would still receive the number 1 overall seed, but after that, teams would be stacked by records regardless of whether they won the division. So similar to how like the NBA does it, where you're essentially in East and West is their idea, but NFC, AFC, seeding wise. So the way I kind of read this is regardless of whether they won divisions or received wildcard berths. So essentially the Packers and the Vikings and the Lions, all three of them all had 11 or more wins last year. And the Packers were 7, even though they won 11. I say, fuck this. I think it's so lame.
I feel like it's an interesting concept, but then again, you want the best teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like this method necessarily brings that because each division is weighted so differently, and it takes away the underdog. It takes away the underdog method, and I'm an underdog type of guy. So
I think like the argument's always going to be like, what is the NFC South doing? Because you can have a Bucks team that's like 9-7 or 10-7 or however that counts up to now, and they're like the 3 seed because they won the division. I get that, but like
it doesn't track. Like the team with the better records.
Win your division. Win your fucking division. Yeah. That's exactly like
win the division. If you have the best record, regardless, you're going to be the highest seed. So the relevancy here is not. It's not that close.
Well, and if you're the AFC West, it's like, yeah, like winning the AFC West is harder than winning the AFC East, obviously. But it's like if you win the division, or if you're in second in your division, you win 13 games. It's like, well, you should have beat the Chiefs one more time. Like, I think divisions are important, especially in football, because there's 16 games. So those games are weighted way heavier than it would be in a 162 game season or an 82 game season. Like, I get it in basketball because you're not playing like, do you even know the teams that are in the Central Division of basketball?
The Central Division of basketball?
Yeah.
I just thought there was East and West.
So that's what everybody, yeah, but there's also divisions. So like the Bulls play the Detroit Pistons and the Milwaukee Bucks and the Pacers more often than other teams.
Well, right, because it's just geographics.
And
right?
so that's the Central Division. So that used to mean something in like the 80s, but then they got rid of it because you play 82 fucking games. If you play 18 games or 16 games or 17 games, depending on the NFL season, then you need to play those other teams 2 times. Like that's the point.
Better question. When does the 18-game season get ruled out and then we actually get a long weekend after Super Bowl?
Probably 3 years
after this
from now?
year. I'm gonna say 2026.
But don't they have to do like a collective bargaining to get that into place?
Yeah, that's coming. That's coming.
I think it's in 2 years
like
from now.
27.
Yeah.
I could see that being the play. I guess maybe in that sense, but to your point, they don't play enough games where it's relevant enough. Baseball, basketball, that's really a real thing because to your point, you don't want the team that is aggressively better than everybody, just kind of all automatically getting in. I see it. It's just a far-fetched thought process.
Well, it'd be like putting the Nuggets at the 8th seed because they're not on the top of the Western Division because the Lakers are good right now, or like the Thunder are good. Like, that's a whole different conversation because they play so many games.
Well, if that was the case for the NBA, then we'd be told by NBA 2K how great we were by very enthusiastic sports stars.
Oh my God. Yeah, we can't talk about that. So
next week.
Yeah, but even so, 2K, my player, they have guys on their phones.
MP?
Yeah.
What up, MP?
It's like, oh my
You're
God.
Great, dog.
MP made 14 3-pointers in a game. Big ups. You're like, what the fuck? 3 MVPs in a row for MP. Crazy. It's so bad, dude. It's so bad.
We will show some awful acting next week.
2K's a sham. I think we should do like, because there's like a Dion Waiters clip out there from his voice acting that floats around the internet that I want to show as well. So we can go through all that.
I love that. Give us your thoughts about this Lions playoff thought process. Maybe
Call
we're far
us.
off. Give it a shout out, but as always, people, it's a blessing to be able to do this for you every single week. If you haven't yet, share it to a friend, share it to a cohort, share it to the kids. Maybe you got some nieces or nephews. It is the year of the uncles after all. Make sure that they're old enough to listen to these two idiots talk about stupid stuff in sports, which is what we do weekly. So make sure you follow on everywhere you get your podcast and see these beautiful fotches on YouTube. And as always, we'll see you next week. Peace.
Talking Tales with Mike and Vince. Oh, jazzy beats while we dispense. Yeah,